Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. This is Pop McGhee, cornerback out of Louisiana Christian. Nice to have you on, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
I feel like a lot of people need to get to know you, man, because you know, really one of the best prospects coming out of NAIA ranks this year was an All-American last year. They haven't named those things yet. Maybe you'll be it again. We'll see. But you get after the ball a lot, and hey, I feel like people need to get to know you. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll get started.
Yes, sir. Being McGee, but I go by Pop because obviously my first name is kind of hard to pronounce, so I make it easier for people around me or for those who don't know me.
Yeah, so John Tavian, I understand. For some people, it's fine. I think more people are comfortable with pop. Can't misspell that, mispronounce that. Pretty simple. How did you get the name Pop?
My auntie, she gave it to me when I was little. She said I used to hit people and run under the table, so it just stuck with me throughout my whole lifetime.
Gotcha. And I'm pretty sure people kind of take a little bit of that story and it carries over to the football field. So
Hmm.
that sounds fun. He's like I don't know. Makes me remember guys like maybe Muhammad Ali. Stick and move. Maybe that's what you're doing out there on the football field. I don't know, but it sounds fun. So we're gonna work with it. So have my notes. Went to Opelousas High School there in Louisiana. And so let's pause there and let's talk about you as a high school athlete. Because along with some football, you participated in some basketball and a pretty good track and field athlete too. So, can you share with me some of your memories of being a high school athlete? There in the good old days.
Yes, sir. Well, one of the best memory really is when I won state in triple jump because I picked up triple jump like halfway through track season. And at first I was like I wouldn't be good at it, but then my coach was like, keep going, keep going, keep going. So it ended up paying off. And then another memory is when the basketball team, we was like number two in the state, but we didn't get to go to the playoffs because ineligible rules. But that's another topic for another day.
Goodness. Well, hey, the track stuff is actually really good. Basketball stuff is really good. The fact that you're very active in other sports and very successful, that does translate to the football field. And again, I do want to give you kudos for being an outstanding track and field athlete. For people who don't know, I mean, once you hit that like 45, 46 threshold as a triple jumper, you're talking state recognition. And so that's a really good number there for you. Talk a little bit maybe about how, I don't know, those other sports have helped you as a football player.
Track help with being more explosive because we work on jumps a lot and sprints and like it builds your legs. So like when you play a whole game, you're running, so you'll be used to it because at track you got to run like 90% of the time. And in basketball, it helped with like recognition, like rebounding, like seeing the ball, or like getting in your stands, like defensive stands, and moving your feet and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Well, let's continue to talk about you as an athlete. Coming out of high school, again, being successful in more than one sport. Were you recruited in any other sports besides football? I mean, talk about the whole like recruiting period coming out of high school. How did that look for you?
Um, I really didn't get recruited as much, but for track, Grambling State, one of their coaches that attracted me, and like they saw me do a triple jump, like they was getting in contact. They wanted to get in contact with me. But other than that, for basketball, I really didn't like pursue basketball at the collegiate level. It was just like a side, a side sport that I played that I love.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that you love the game of basketball, but let's just be real. I mean, most people that are playing basketball are like tall guys. Not to saying that you're small, it's just that, for a basketball player, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
What is your
Yeah.
current height and weight these days? Can you share that?
Yes, sir. Um, it's like 6'2", 6'1" ish, 175.
So, one in some change, 175. Definitely decent size for a cornerback. And so, talk about Louisiana Christian. That was a school that gave you your opportunity. For people that aren't very familiar with that school, can you talk it up a little bit? Tell us a little bit about that school. Give us the pitch for that university.
Yes, sir. It's a private college. It was safest campus in Louisiana this year, last year. Then it's a religious college too, Christianity. So like on Tuesdays we go to chapel and like they talk about the Bible and we pray and stuff. And it's just a good community to be around.
Yeah, I was trying my best to do some research on it. Very small school. We're looking at a school with maybe 1,000 or more kids, there, and a private Baptist school, like you had mentioned. I mean, it's a school that obviously you're going to, chapel regularly. That's kind of worked into your schedule, and so not necessarily a bad thing. Helps you. Get your mind right whenever you get your day started and all. So it's not, hey, it's okay. It works for some people.
Hmm.
And so um again, talking a little bit more about that school, um, like I had mentioned, I mean, you were an All-American last year, did
Hmm.
very well. And so let's talk about you in that defense. Again, I introduced you as a corner, but just give me an idea of your experience in that secondary, and how would you describe yourself as an athlete?
Our defense, it was pretty straightforward, you know. We never like it was like man 90% of the time, press man and like linebackers blitzing, D line getting after the quarterback, like putting pressure on the other quarterback to like make fast throws, which leads to easier picks. But most of the time we just covered most of the time.
Gotcha. So, what do you take the most pride in when you think about you in your game? Like, what do you feel is like the one thing that is maybe perhaps your best trait?
Using my hands, like
Well,
being very physical at the line.
go say it one more time. I know our connection is a little in and out, but
Or
say it one more time.
being very physical with my hands at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, you do that, and obviously you're, affecting your opponent's route there at the very beginning. Um, when I was thinking, like my first response, when I was thinking about you and your hands, is the fact that, damn, dude, you're always getting to the ball. Like if you look at some of your stats, they're really otherworldly. When you look at a guy who is constantly getting PBUs, constantly knocking that ball out of other people's hands, and really affecting, the game. So these past
Mm.
couple seasons, this year, you had 17 defenses. The previous year, you had 18. I mean, that's a lot, man. That's more than a whole lot of other people um, have done in their career, even. And you did that in two. So that again, that was like my first thought there. But talk more about your defense. Maybe some of the guys around you. Who are some of the people there at Louisiana Christian we need to know?
Um, one of number two is named Jaheim Mitchell. Really good slot on the outside corner. He can play in the box. He can tackle. He can do it. He can do it all. He like a hybrid, really. He can do it all. Linebacker number seven is named Kevin Toriak. He a good tackler, fill the gaps, physical. doing everything a linebacker need, and he a good size and weight.
Cool. And so, um, talking about a lot of great teammates there. I'm sure there's a lot of coaches that have poured into you along the way. Um, Talk about some of the people in your life that have influenced you the most throughout your career. So, maybe any more of your teammates, some coaches, and maybe perhaps some people outside of football. Who has influenced you the most over your time?
Where I have two people, my mother, she influenced me a lot, being that she was single mother, taking care of five children by herself, and like always made a way. That influenced me to always keep going hard, no matter what. And then my coach, Coach Tyson Andrews, he influenced me a lot because he showed me what hard work, like what hard work actually is, and like you can't take things for granted because they'll never always be what they're set out to be unless you go get it.
Yeah, and obviously it's coaches like that that help you along in your journey. Sometimes things are going really well, like they were in previous season. I mean, you guys went 9-2, although this season really wasn't all that perfect. Went
Mm.
4-7, so you obviously, so, things don't always go exactly how they're planned. You get these obstacles in front of you that you have to, try and overcome. Um, how do you particularly stay motivated when things aren't necessarily going your way, man? Talk through that a little bit.
One of the ways I stay motivated is just keep putting in the work and showing up, even the days when you don't want to get up or when, like you said, it's bad energy because how the season going. Just got to keep showing up and putting in the work, no matter what.
So, obviously, yeah, you're at the point now where you're finishing up your time in college. You're trying to get noticed a little bit more by a lot of scouts. Um, and I just want to, I don't know, take a look at your, career, reflect just a little bit more. Um, what do you feel has been maybe your best highlights? A lot of great highlights from last season, also some from this year as well. Talk me through maybe one of your favorite games, plays, moments. Can you give me a couple of those?
That's a good question. Obviously, my favorite one is when I first started my freshman year and I caught a pick and returned it for 32 yards. That's been a memory, and I got the game ball still. So that's like the main thing because it was like my first one ever. And then another one is when I made a big tackle last year versus Ottawa. Like it was like my first big hit, really. So it's like, and then it made like everybody around me excited because like they used to say I couldn't tackle. Well, they didn't say I couldn't tackle. They just say I never tackled.
Well, hey, we got to tell people more so about your namesake. There's a reason why you're called Pop. And so that means that you can pop a guy. So and you've been
Hmm.
doing that ever since you were a little kid. So hey, don't sleep on that tackling ability. That's what we're trying to tell people. So
Hmm.
um, cool. What do you feel has changed the most for you? I mean, again, you come in, fresh out of high school. How would you, I don't know, maybe compare the you coming out of high school versus the you now? What do you think's changed the most?
Just paying attention to the little details, like every little thing matter, no matter how small it is, it can change the outcome of any game. Like being prepared is like one of the biggest things. Cause like if you're not prepared in like any small fashion, it can mess you up for the game.
I mean, definitely, and more so, as you progress through things. I mean, it is something that, is gonna have to be an area of extreme focus as you move on to other things. Obviously, we're talking with the platform for a guy who's trying to make it to the next level. That's why we're talking, to hopefully get your name out there a little bit more. Um, Again, we are looking at a very good athlete. who can be a corner. Um, what about other things that you could add as a player? Meaning like things like special teams. Like, do you have a lot of experience doing that too?
A little bit like my freshman and sophomore year, but our defensive ran, our coach would be like, he didn't want us on special team because we was playing like man the whole game, and we had to chase around somebody and then go on special teams. So he wanted to keep our legs fresh. But on special team, I'm good. Like gunner, kickoff. Like I make tackles on kickoff. Like I used to do that a lot my freshman year in practice. Like get down the field untouched. I like gunner, get to the ball and make the tackle.
Gotcha. And I know right now as we're talking, it's Thanksgiving break, but I do want to just kind of, check in with you. What are you doing or plan to do over these next couple of weeks, months in order to better yourself in your situation? Is there a part of your game that you're trying to get better at? Is there a facility or a trainer that you're working with? I mean, what's your goal these next few weeks?
Put on like 5 to 10 more pounds, work a little bit more on my breaks, and like find a trainer like to get my body like where it need to be in order to compete at the next level and like have a great pro day.
Hey, well, that it's definitely something that we I know at least the gaining the weight, like it's Thanksgiving week, so I mean you can gain that this week alone if we're being real. Just got to eat a lot of maybe some macaroni and cheese or something. Put some weight on you. You'll be just fine. So um, Pop, do want to meet the guy outside of football. So, anything else about you that you want to share, whether it be you know, your personal life, like anything about you, maybe a fun fact, hobbies, special talents, anything that you want to share about yourself, so that people can get to know you. Give me a little something.
I'm very outgoing. Um, like how I think about it, something I do can make a person day. I like stuff like that, like giving back to people like who poured into you. I like playing video games. I like arts and crafts, and I like just like having fun. Like I always bring like positive energy, no negative energy.
All right. You said arts and crafts. Can you give me an
Yes.
example?
I made a 12-foot lamp like for ceramics class last year. Then I made a vase, and then I made some cups that was sold at like this little auction thing.
Cool. Well, is that kind of a side hustle you got going on? I mean, you doing that like whenever you get some time or what?
Nah, that was just for the class. We had to make like some cups to sell. I also like to paint too,
Cool. What else have you been able to do there as a student? What was your major again?
graphic design.
So, when you're, I don't know, studying graphic design, like, what do you see yourself doing? Like specifically, like, I have no clue what that will do. So that's the reason why I'm asking you, like, what is that going to look like? How's that going to help you moving forward?
Well, I plan to be like a worldwide designer. So I like come up with a logo, like how Nike is, or like Jordan. Like you brand yourself and like you work for people until like you get your name out there. Then you start off on your own, and then you build from there.
All right. Well, we can certainly talk about, maybe some logos for you, sell some
Mhm.
t-shirts, make a little money in the process. I'm pretty sure I got some ideas. Um, but I wanted to ask just a couple more questions, just I don't know, some rapid fire fun things. So let's say oh, I don't know, you collect anything? I mean,
Uh,
every so often
nah,
people collect things like shoes or other memorabilia, something like that, or no?
nah, I don't collect things.
Gotcha. Well, you had mentioned that you're a bit of a basketball fan. That's the reason why I was wondering. Is there do you have like a favorite team or what?
Nah, I like a lot of teams, but my favorite player is LeBron.
Of
LeBron James.
course, one of, if not for some people, he's the GOAT. It depends on who you ask. Um, so, um, what about guys that play your position? Um, who's playing it at the best right now in the NFL? Can you, I don't know, weigh in on that?
To me, who playing at the best? Well, it was Patrick Surtain, but he got injured, so it's a lot of good corners out there that like nobody talk about. So it's like really hard to pinpoint who playing the best right now. But you can never go wrong with like the top guys in the league.
I mean, it's an interesting thing to debate because every so often people are like, um, he don't have any stats. Well, the reason why he doesn't have any stats is
You know, throw the
because
ball.
nobody's throwing his way, and he's shutting down his side of the field. That's the reason why. And so sometimes like all the interceptions or PBUs or something like that's what it is. So
Mhm.
um, all right, some things that aren't football, real quick. Let's see. You have any pets?
Yeah, a dog. His name Cash.
Cool. What kind of dog is it?
Yorkie.
A Yorkie. Okay. Definitely different. Uh every time I think of Louisiana, I think of some really good food. And so what's that one home cooked dish that you love getting when you come home? We're trying to give a shout out to, like your mom or somebody who has been feeding you ever since you were a little kid.
Yeah, my mom, she a great cook. Like she can cook like anything. But I say red beans and rice, not macaroni, gumbo, or even like if I go to like, it's a place called Billy's. Like they sell boudin. Boudin is really good.
Okay. People aren't very familiar with those things up where I'm at, but I mean, I have a rough idea of those things. So, cool. Tell me something more about your hometown. Again, maybe not very highly populated. What's so special about your hometown that you love coming back to, other than this one little restaurant or your family? Anything else there?
I like going back to the school, like pouring knowledge into like the younger players and like telling them like what to expect at the next level and like how to better like better their experience there and like teaching them the game, like stuff that I learned personally.
Cool. Well, Pop, we've learned a whole lot about you as a player and as a person, and things that are important to you. I mean, giving back to the community, and of course, family guy, pretty easygoing. Guy would be a great teammate. So, as we wrap up our time, I do want to give you one last opportunity to uh, really just tell teams what they'd be getting if they took a chance on you. So go ahead and close us with your thoughts.
Yes, sir. If a team drafted me or like picked me up, they'll be getting a good player, well, a great player, somebody that's willing to come in, do the work, somebody that's not gonna complain, somebody that's gonna always stay in the playbook, somebody's gonna always watch film, show up on time, be there for everything. Just overall person ready to work and seize the opportunity that's given.
Yeah, and so far, Pop, you've dominated your opponents, um, done very well, All-American, looking for the next opportunity. And hopefully you get that here very soon. All right.
Yes, sir.
Again, I got with me Pop McGhee, cornerback, Louisiana Christian. Check this guy out.
Yes, sir. Thank you.